Hello, this is your 982nd Training Group Continuum of Learning representative at Shepherd Air Force Base, Texas, where the world is our classroom. Today we're going to discuss a hot topic in training, feedback. I was at a local mom and pop restaurant the other day and I really enjoyed their cheeseburgers. Even our server was outstanding, visiting our table frequently and making us feel like we were family. I wanted to let the diner know the great job that they were doing, but they were still using one of those old grimy wooden comment boxes. Needless to say, I didn't leave a comment from fear of catching a communicable disease. Plus, I really wanted my comments to be totally anonymous. There are numerous reasons why we might not want to use these dated forms of feedback, like lack of confidentiality, the possibility of our comments being tampered with or discarded, or accessibility, or using non-user friendly platforms. But there are newer alternatives in collecting those comments we so greatly desire. Since the majority of our learners today are digital natives, they feel comfortable in using technology to their advantage. A great approach for collecting comments from our customers is using an online and easily accessible program. There are a couple different ways we can go about transitioning our old comment boxes to the current times. The first and most desirable way is to utilize the ICE or Interactive Customer Evaluations. Most bases already have an ICE site constructed. You can find comment cards for base FSS functions like the ITT office, dining facilities, and finance, to name a few. As you can see from Team Shepherd's ICE site, it gives you the POC's phone number under the site contact information. This contact is very important because the POC will help you create a personalized comment card for your organization. But before you start requesting an ICE site to be created, you must perform a little legwork. You need to understand what kind of information you want to pull from your students or customers. You can be specific with these questions, or you can leave it wide open for the user to discuss what's on their mind. Of course, with any function in our Air Force, there is explicit guidance that governs this process. And there are a few things that you will need to consider when creating your comment guidelines. First off, you need to understand that AFI 35107, Public Web and Social Communications, clearly states that any collection of information of 10 or more members of the general public requires an OMB control number. This includes surveys, customer feedback, and social media posts. This tells us if we are soliciting information from customer or students, we need to have our questioning reviewed and approved by the Air Force Survey Office. This review process begins by filling out a request for an Air Force Survey control number using the AF Form 4453. Most of the sections on this form are self-explanatory. If you have any questions, you can contact the 92nd Training Group's Evaluations Office at Shepherd Air Force Base. They are very familiar with this process. When your form is complete and signed by the sponsor, the person submitting and overseeing the survey, and signed by the action officer, your unit's commander, you will submit it to the Air Force Survey Office at af.surveys@us.af.mil. Along with the Form 4453, they will also need a copy of your proposed survey or online comment box statement. In order for the request to be processed by the Air Force Survey Office, there are a few statements that need to be included in your survey. They are statements like, completion of the survey is voluntary. We cannot provide confidentiality to participants regarding comments involving criminal activity or behavior, or statements that pose a threat to yourself or others. And do not discuss or comment on classified or operationally sensitive information. The Form 4453 explains these requirements and others underneath the Survey Sponsorship Annex on page 6 of the document. Expect some correspondence between you, the sponsor, and the survey office. A team of writers will dissect your survey and suggest changes. They might ask questions on your wording or the intent of your statements. Just remember, this process will make your survey better, and more importantly, it will be supported legally. Once the survey is approved, the survey office will assign a survey control number to it and return a finalized copy of the Form 4483. Now you can contact your base's ICE site to create your online comment page. Just remind them to include all of your requirements you worked so hard on. Once your site is developed, it will have a QR code attached to the survey. This will allow your students to use their own web devices to complete the survey anonymously and on their own time. No longer will they need to slip their paper comments into that box located in your foyer or your CSS office. There's another way to create an online comment box, and it uses a similar process. When creating any survey or comment forum, remember you will always need to go through the process of getting an Air Force survey control number. But if you choose not to use an Air Force website like the ICE program, you will need to submit a request for authorization through the SAF/XC office. For example, if you would like to use SurveyMonkey or Survey Gizmo, the Air Force Survey Program AFI 38501 states, provide written coordination from SAF/XC regarding survey collection tool on a non.mil website in accordance with AFI 33-129. So if you're using a non.mil website, you will need to involve the folks at A6, Strategy and Policy in the Pentagon. This will be very time consuming, so I suggest you use the ICE program or another .mil website. Whatever way you choose and however many hoops you want to jump through, creating these online comment boxes provide an easy way for your customers and students to give you the feedback you need. For further information on online comment box process, please contact the 982nd Training Group's Training Operations Office at Sheppard Air Force Base, Texas, where making great maintainers and communicators even better is our mission.